Hey everybody, Raul here for Bass Musician Magazine, and today we have the great honor and pleasure of getting a special update from my pal Keith Stixx and Tsunami Cables.
What's up? How you doing?
Great, great. All of you know Keith because he does these amazing cables. You've heard so many musicians that we've talked to just sing the accolades of their cables, you know, the likes of Tony Puleo, Cody Wright, Killian Duarte, all these guys. You know, we're always talking cables, cables, cables. But Keith has been working on a top secret project that he is going to share with us ahead of everybody else so that we can share with you, our readership, our viewership, and give you the inside story of what Keith is working on. So tell us, Keith, what's going on?
Yeah, man. We are entering into the amp market. And so we're kind of starting out with a preamp. My concept was kind of to go alongside of what's been the trend over the last maybe 8 to 10 years or so of the Class D amplifiers. So the smaller, real compact, small amplifiers that everybody's putting out, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're great, solid state, small little guys. But for me, I'm an old school vintage tube guy. I love tubes. I love old vintage amps. Anything, whether it's a bass amp or guitar amp or tube gear for recording studios, any of that kind of stuff. I just love that tube warmth and that kind of thing. And that's one of the things for me as with when it comes to the Class D amplifiers, it's that those are lacking. It's lacking that tonality. So the concept was, can we come up with a smaller footprint preamp that would basically go in front of your Class D amplifier? Mm-hmm. And then that kind of led us down a whole road of a whole bunch of different things and add-ons and different things to put in and all that kind of stuff. We started out with a prototype, and this is it, and it's kind of a little ugly bugger. Inside, it works great. It has basically what this is. It's a early 70s B-15 preamp. So we took the inspiration from the B-15, a couple of slight mods, but that's pretty much what's in here, is the early 70s B-15 with one 12AX7 tube in it. It has unbalanced input, obviously, for your bass or whatever other instrument you want to plug into it. And then it would have a balanced output as well. Sorry, you can't really see it. Mm-hmm. A balanced output as well as an unbalanced output to run into your amp or wherever else. Very simple on the controls: volume, treble, and bass. Real simple. That's it. This was kind of the start to the whole deal. A lot of guys have played through it. A lot of the guys you just mentioned played through it. Love it. Absolutely loved it. And so it's kind of like, all right, there's something here. Take it to the next level and the next step and go into, so we did a small production run of about 13 preamps. The number for the 13 is kind of funny. It's one of my favorite numbers, but it's actually what fit on a sheet of metal. Okay. So that was how we got 13. Was originally it was going to be 10, but we could actually fit 3 more on one full sheet of metal at the metal shop to do the boxes. So they're like, oh, it's no big deal. We'll just stamp you 3 more. And so I was like, well, all right, great, cool. So that turned into this guy. This is basically now the way the preamp is going to look. The only thing that this is missing currently right now is the logos and badging and everything else. So there will be a logo right here. There'll be one right here in the front. So right now it's the only thing that's missing currently right now. But what this has in it is actually has two preamps, two tube preamps in it. It has the one that was in our prototype, which is the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, basically a B-15 off of that. And then it also has an early 60s, so even earlier, early 60s B-15 as well. So it's got basically two designs of a B-15, Ampeg B-15 preamp in it. Same control knobs, so you have volume. So volume, this is the older one. This early 60s, this would be the early 70s. So both volume knobs, treble and bass. The nice thing about the way the preamp works is there is no switching between them. As you actually turn the volume up, that actually engages that preamp. So what's cool about it is theoretically you can actually mix between the two, your tone between using both preamps. So it's kind of cool because you can use, you're getting two different tubes. So the early 70s one is a 12AX7 tube. The early 60s was an octal tube, which is a 6SL7. And that tube is definitely different than the 12AX7, so different, a little bit different sound characteristics. So it's nice because you can actually blend between the two preamps, which is kind of a cool feature to be able to do that. Both treble and bass are fixed spots in the EQ spectrum, and as you roll the volume or the pot back, it actually pulls that frequencies out, and as you put it forward, it actually boosts those frequencies. So that's kind of a nice thing. It will be in and out, so input for your instrument here, instrument in, and then out here. And then this is actually a headphone amp built in as well. So you can headphone output to your headphones, and then here's the volume knob right here as well. And then same controls on the back, power output and balanced output as well. So you have like a DI. So basically, you could also think of this not only as a preamp, but also like a tube DI with an EQ built in as well. Lots of versatility, and we're also going to have, which I don't have the foot switch yet, but there will be a foot switch that you can actually add into this to basically bypass the whole thing. So you can click it on or click it off to bypass the whole preamp section as well, and then basically it's just going in and out, no big deal. That's kind of the whole thing in a nutshell. I mean that's kind of the rundown.
Well, I can see that it's got a small size. About how much does this thing weigh?
With all electronics and everything inside, it's going to be about 4 pounds. It's going to be about 4 or 5 pounds. The biggest thing is the power transformer in it itself is like 2 pounds just by itself.
Yeah.
So it's a good size. So yeah, so it's going to be under the 5 pound range, but close to that. It's 13 inches long here, 3 inches high from that to that, and then 6 inches wide from tip to tip. It's not the smallest device, but if you're running, a Class D head, you could easily fit that and this directly right next to it on a cabinet or something like that. So it's great, and it gives lots of versatility. And we've used it a couple of different ways so far, and that's running direct into the house, which is nice. So you can plug your bass in and run direct right to the house to the DI output and bypass an amp altogether. Mm-hmm. That works great for a lot of like theater gigs or ampless situations where you don't have, everybody's running in-ears and they don't have amps on stage. A lot of casino gigs and stuff like that, at least that I have that same thing. So that's kind of nice. As well as using it basically just as a front-end preamp going directly into a recording rig, going into any kind of console or even a small DAW home, studio setup. It's nice because you get some really nice fat tube warmth out of it to go direct into the inputs of your recording device. It's got a lot of cool versatility, and I wanted that in it to be able to players of all sorts, this is geared towards the high-end player that is using, you go into studios, doing a lot of recording, doing a lot of gigging, that kind of stuff. The guy who's, maybe playing a couple of shows a month, it might be a little bit out of their price range and where that's at.
Obviously, there's going to be some people who are going to see this and they're going to go, when is this going to be available and how can I get one?
We're going to be starting by the time this video comes out, we'll have a Indiegogo campaign launched. Okay. And so that will be for a pre-order. That we're estimating that's going to ship in April.
Okay.
So those preamps are gonna. We're hoping that the pre-order is gonna go well. We'll get everything in, and we're gonna be able to start making them, getting them out, and they'll start shipping in April. So the sooner you buy it, the sooner it'll ship out. That kind of thing. But yeah, April, May area is what we're estimating to ship on those. I still have, which I don't know by the time this video goes up if I'll still have, but I have like 3 left of the 13 available. And then on the Indiegogo, we've got some really cool add-on features. So one of the things that we'll be doing is you can get it, the preamp all by itself, just the way it is. You can add on to have it actually pinstriped. So I'm having a guy actually do custom hot rod pinstriping all over it, which is pretty cool, more my style. And then we're also going to have wood paneling on the sides too. So you can pay like an upgraded charge for wood paneling on the side of it. So if it's more of like in a home studio kind of nice, setup, you could have something like that. And then even my buddy Devin over at Decine Designs that makes custom knobs and stuff like that. We're going to do an option where he's going to make a bunch of custom knobs for the preamp. So it'll have custom knobs on it, stuff like that. All cosmetic stuff, that kind of thing. But some people like that. And the ones we've already sold, we've actually sold pretty much every one of them has some kind of add-on to it that people are really liking. So people are really liking that. It'll be interesting to see. And then we will have them at our booth at NAMM. You can come to the booth at NAMM. Our booth number is 1849 downstairs this year. And we'll have a bunch of them there. You can play through them. I don't know if any of them will be available for sale, but if there are, they'll be available for sale. We're working on doing some deals where if you're there and you place an order through the Indiegogo, that you might get like something like a free cable or get something else. Yeah, so we're looking at kind of doing some kind of fun promo thing just for NAMM for that as well. Yeah, it's exciting. It's super exciting.
Got you. And if somebody wanted to get their hands on one of the remaining 3,
just contact me. Yeah, so the best way would be shoot me an email, keith@tsunamicables.com. So KEITH at Tsunami Cables, TSUNAMICABLES.com. Shoot me an email. And you can get a hold of me. Any of the emails through the website or on Facebook Messenger or Instagram, any of that stuff, shoot me a message and, we can definitely get that set up. The nice thing, too, is these are going to retail for, right now, we're shooting for right around the $1,200 range. $1,000 to $1,200 range is what we're kind of shooting for. The Indiegogo, they're going to start at $700.
Wow.
So it's a significant, basically it's kind of like our dealer pricing. It's basically, it's a significant drop in price on the Indiegogo for the pre-order. So it's definitely a good thing for people to jump on if they're interested to jump on it then, because getting it in stores and that kind of thing afterwards, it's going to be significantly a lot more. It's exciting, like I said.
Oh, man, it certainly is. Well, folks, you've got to make sure you check this out. You've got all the information that we have. For further information, you've got Keith at tsunamicables.com.
Yeah, we have a contact page. They can go on that and contact. They can do like my email I said earlier, or even like I said, even Instagram, message me on Instagram or on Facebook, any of that kind of stuff. I get all those messages. So shoot me a message through there and we'll get them taken care of.
And this little guy's called the V-15, right?
V-15, V as in Victor. Yeah, so V-15. The V-15 is coming out. It's going to be awesome. We're stoked.
Very cool. Well, folks, you've seen it here. Keith Stixx, the V-15, coming to you on Bass Musician Magazine.